Imagine two people learning to ride a bike. One falls once, declares, "I'm just not a bike person," and goes home forever. The other falls, gets up, mutters something unrepeatable, and tries again. 10 years later, one still fears scraped knees. The other is doing tricks. Same bike, same road, different mindset. And, according to one psychologist, this tiny difference quietly decides who wins at life. That psychologist is Dr. Carol Dweck. And her book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, is not another think positive and manifest a yacht guide. It's a calm, research-backed explanation of why some people grow through failure, while others freeze the moment things get hard. No hype, no magic. Just psychology doing its quiet, dangerous work on your future. Dr. Dweck is a Stanford professor who spent decades studying motivation, learning, and success. Besides mindset, her research reshaped education, sports coaching, and business leadership worldwide. If you enjoy turning serious science into usable life upgrades without the nonsense, subscribe to Atomic Books. We decode powerful books so your brain does less guessing and more upgrading. Now let's talk about why growth mindset is often misunderstood. The first trap Dweck exposes is what she calls the false growth mindset. This is when people say they believe in growth, but emotionally act like talent is fixed. They post quotes about learning from failure, yet internally panic the moment they fail. It's motivational posters on the wall and fear quietly running the show behind the scenes. Picture someone at work who says, "I love challenges." Then they avoid every project where they might look average. That's not growth mindset. That's reputation protection. A real growth mindset doesn't mean enjoying failure. It means not seeing failure as a verdict on who you are. You can hate losing and still believe you can improve. Those are not opposites. False growth mindset feels productive because it sounds optimistic, but it's fragile. The moment effort doesn't pay off quickly, motivation collapses. Dweck explains that real growth mindset accepts something uncomfortable. Progress is messy, slow, and embarrassing. If you only believe in growth when things go well, you don't believe in growth, you believe in luck wearing gym clothes. This misunderstanding leads directly to the second major problem in the book: the danger of praising intelligence. And yes, this one is uncomfortable, especially if you were the smart kid growing up. Dweck shows that telling someone "you're so smart" feels kind and encouraging, but it quietly teaches a dangerous lesson. Your value is tied to effortless success. When intelligence becomes an identity, mistakes stop being information and start feeling like threats. Suddenly, learning isn't exciting. It's risky. In experiments, kids praised for being smart chose easier puzzles next time. Kids praised for effort chose harder ones. Why? The smart kids didn't want to lose their label. The effort-praised kids learned that struggle was part of the process. Same ability, different feedback. Completely different future behavior. This doesn't stop in childhood. Adults avoid new skills because they don't want to feel incompetent again. They'd rather stay naturally good at something mediocre than become beginners at something meaningful. Dweck argues that talent-focused praise builds a beautiful cage. It looks flattering, but it limits how far you're willing to go. Quick pause. Have you ever avoided trying something because you didn't want to feel bad at it? Be honest, drop a comment with yes or not me and hit like if this is uncomfortably accurate. Let's continue. The talent myth says successful people were always special. Dweck dismantles this. Top athletes, musicians, and leaders weren't fearless geniuses. They were people who stayed engaged after they looked foolish. Talent helps, yes, but mindset decides whether talent compounds or expires early. In companies, fixed mindset cultures reward looking smart. Growth mindset cultures reward learning fast. One produces impressive presentations. The other produces real progress. When mistakes are punished, innovation dies quietly. When learning is rewarded, people stop hiding problems and problems finally get solved. All of this leads to one of the smallest but most powerful words in the book. A word that can quietly rewire how your brain reacts to difficulty. That word is yet. I can't do this. Feels final. I can't do this yet leaves the door open. Dweck explains that this single word activates neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change with practice. It tells your mind the story isn't over. And the brain listens closely to the stories you repeat. When someone says, "I'm bad at math," the brain reduces effort. When they say, "I'm still learning math," the brain stays engaged. Same situation, different instruction. Over time, neurons physically reorganize based on which message you send. Mindset isn't motivational fluff. It's biological instruction. Using yet doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means replacing judgment with curiosity. Instead of, I failed, you ask, what didn't work? That shift turns shame into feedback. And feedback is something you can actually use. Dweck also shows how mindset affects relationships. Fixed mindset turns conflict into proof of incompatibility. Growth mindset turns it into a skill gap. One asks, what's wrong with us? The other asks, what can we learn? Same disagreement. Very different outcome. Elite coaches focus less on talent and more on response to failure. Athletes who see mistakes as data improve faster. Those who see mistakes as humiliation plateau early. Confidence doesn't come from winning. It comes from knowing you can recover, adjust, and try again without losing your identity. The real power of mindset is not becoming endlessly optimistic. It's becoming anti-fragile. You stop needing constant proof that you're smart, talented, or worthy. You start measuring progress instead of perfection, and that quietly changes what you attempt in life. If there's one idea to keep, it's this. Success doesn't belong to people who never fail. It belongs to people who don't let failure decide who they are. Growth mindset isn't loud. It's calm, patient, and stubborn. It keeps showing up long after motivation leaves the room. If this review helped you rethink how you face mistakes, challenges, or learning itself, subscribe to Atomic Books. We don't chase hype, we extract ideas that actually change how you think and act, and those changes compound faster than talent ever will. So next time you hear yourself say, I'm just not good at this, try adding one word. Yet, that word might not feel powerful, but give it time. Your brain is listening.